Okay, welcome to Liv Luv Lux, Manifesting the Life Unlimited. This is Nicole. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I have a special guest today. My guest is Miss Krystal. How are you doing today, Krystal?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Oh, great. Okay, Krystal. So I want you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I am Krystal. I have 3 children. I am a former drug addict. Been clean for 17 years.
Awesome.
And that's pretty much my life story in a nutshell.
Okay, well, I'm sure you have some stories. I'm sure it's quite the life there.
Yes.
So tell me about how you're a tarot reader, right?
Yes.
Yes. So is tarot reading related to your past, or was it some helpful? I mean, tell me a little bit about that, like how you got into that whole process.
Okay. So I got clean, and I knew that wasn't the life for me. I did not want to be miserable and addicted to drugs, but I couldn't really find where I fit in the world. And my sister actually had one deck of cards that she would pull normally every morning. It was just a message from the angels. She was big into Reiki and tarot cards and all of it. So she kind of got me into it, and at first I didn't believe I thought she was crazy, and I was like, no, this, but as I started pulling cards for myself and they fit into my everyday life, every time that I pulled a card, it was exactly what I needed to hear. I realized that this might be something that I was good at doing. So I bought my first deck, and it has just exploded from there.
Now, prior to tarot, like that experience, had you had any experience with tarot before? Any other type of metaphysics or anything like that?
No, I didn't even believe in anything. I was a lost soul, just kind of wandering around, trying to figure out where I fit in, where I belonged, and what I was supposed to be doing here.
Okay. So you do tarot readings for others now?
Yes, I do.
So how did you make that transition from just pulling cards for yourself to pulling cards for other people?
Well, I started gaining confidence when the cards were always on point for me, and I thought maybe my friends and family would enjoy this, and I kind of also just wanted to test the waters and see if I was any good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And after maybe like the 10th person started telling me, like, your cards are always on point, this is exactly what I needed, thank you so much, it was a feeling that I can't describe. It was something that, I just knew that this is what I was supposed to be doing, and that I wasn't just supposed to be doing it for me and my friends and family. I was supposed to be doing it for anyone that needed it.
Okay. So do you follow like the law of attraction and manifestation?
Yes, I believe a lot in it.
Okay.
In both.
Okay. Now, how does that belief either affect your tarot reading, support it, enhance it? Like, how do you connect the two?
I guess just the fact that I heard about the law of attraction actually before I heard about, well, not before I heard about tarot cards, but before I actually started believing in tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they go together because they both worked for me. I mean,
Okay.
I don't really know how to explain that anymore.
Yeah.
It all fits together somehow.
Okay. Well, like, when you're creating your own reality, I guess when you're creating your own reality, and then you have somebody who can see your future, like, I guess I'm curious is, do you hear things do you hear things from your spirit guides, from your angels? Or do you see images? Like, are you tapping into that person's like desires, as well as, do you know what I mean? How's that process work? Like, how's that connected?
Okay, so when I'm doing a reading, I try to absolutely clear my mind.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm reading the words and a certain word pops out, I will say it. If like
Okay.
I'm reading the words and there's a certain color, I'll say it. And I have had a point where I have been in a reading and someone else speaks through me. And I will stop after I say the words and I'm like, whoa, that didn't come from me. Like,
Right.
so I do feel like I tap into something else, you know, into that person's life, whatever they
Mm-hmm.
need. And sometimes, you know, it's a passed away loved one. Sometimes it's just a spirit guide or an angel. And I don't really have any control over what it is. I just kind of open myself up to whatever that person needs from that reading, and I give it to them the best that I can.
Now, do you have a story of like your most profound reading, like your most like OMG, like holy crap, you know, where you got feedback from the person you were reading for, that like, how could you possibly know that? Like, do you have any stories like that?
I do. One of my mom's best friends, I considered her an aunt all my life. She asked me for a reading one time. And in the middle of the reading, she stopped me. She put her hand on my arm and she said, when I died, because she had died on the table during a heart attack, or a heart operation after heart attack. And she was clinically dead for 7 minutes or something like that. And
Okay.
then they brought her back. She asked me in the middle of the reading, she said, when I got there, and I didn't really know where there was, she said, when I got there, I saw my son. Now he had passed away. She
Mm-hmm.
said, I saw, you know, my brother, I saw this person, I saw that person. Where was my mom? And out of my mouth came the words, she was with you, beside you at the table. That's why
Oh,
she
wow.
wasn't there. And as soon as I said it, I got chills throughout my body. I just started bawling. I was like, I have no idea
Yes.
where that came from. And she's like, I never thought of that, but that's exactly what I needed to hear. I just was so afraid that when I do die, I'm not going to see my mom because she isn't there. And
Right.
it was, I mean, still, it's,
Yeah.
that was definitely the most like, wow moment
Yes.
I had during a reading.
No, I kind of got just like a little chill from that too. Just like, okay, that's profound. Yeah, that's profound. So when you have experiences like that with people, I mean, gosh, how does that feel for you?
It feels good because
Yeah.
she definitely needed to hear that because she was afraid of dying. She has
Yeah.
since passed away, and I think that she was afraid of dying because she was afraid she wouldn't see her mom.
Right.
So that to me, there is nothing that I mean, that is one of the most awesome things that I could have done, and I don't feel that I did anything other than just be open to whatever she needed to hear. And that's what I try to do in my readings. I try to just stay open to what the person that is coming to me for a reading needs.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, sometimes those big wow moments happen, and sometimes it's just as simple as, you know, the words in the cards kind of click in their head and it's exactly what they need to hear.
Okay. So I would like you to tell me a little bit about what you offer, how people can reach out to you if they want a reading, what kind of readings you offer. What is your setup like?
Okay, so I have a Facebook page called Krystal's Corner. Krystal spelled with a K, corner spelled with a C. I offer pretty much any kind of readings. I can offer tarot cards, oracle cards. I also have a pendulum that I use sometimes. It depends on the situation. I don't really want to be like an open book to talk to ghosts or anything, but you know,
People
if
ask you for
sometimes,
that?
yes.
They
And
do? Oh,
sometimes people do, they need to hear from someone specific, and that I think is where the pendulum comes in a little bit
okay.
more handy than the cards. But there are some situations where I just don't feel comfortable with going to that extent. So, but as of right now, you can only reach me on Facebook. I am going to try to branch out a little bit to some other things, and like YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. I do like 3-card draws for free for my Facebook group, and I usually have a crystal, or I say pick 1, 2, or 3, and then I send you the reading in a private message, so it's not for the whole world to know what you're trying to get out of it or what your reading is about. And I was offering 30 minutes for $15 or an hour for $25. I don't really know if that's the pricing that I want to go with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that every reading is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of just going with my guides on that one.
Okay.
If you hit me up and we end up on the phone for 2 hours, that might not cost you, $200. That might cost you $20. I kind of just go with whatever I'm being told to do. And sometimes that means free, but
Right.
we all have materialistic needs and bills to pay and kids to support and all that. So
do you have like a Cash App or a PayPal? Is that how people can pay you?
yes, I have the Facebook Pay option, Cash App,
Okay.
PayPal, Venmo. I kind of have tried to open up many different, because everybody uses something different.
Everybody uses something different. Yeah.
Not everybody's comfortable with Cash App, so I have everything pretty much that I've ever heard of to be able to pay with.
Right. So if someone's listening to this, what would be the first step to kind of reach you through your Facebook group, or do you have an email, or what would be the first step if somebody says, okay, I definitely need a reading from Krystal yesterday? So
I would say the Facebook option is the best.
okay.
Or even just messaging me on my personal Facebook,
Okay.
which is Krystal Seipp, Seipp. There's not anybody other than me with that
Okay.
that name. So yeah, that's where I'm at currently, but I do plan on branching out, like I said, to other options.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to ask you personally, what do you feel like your greatest manifestation has been, your best manifestation has been in regards to the law of attraction and manifesting?
Okay, well, with the law of attraction, I needed a house. We needed a home. We were renting. We were throwing away so much money. They weren't fixing anything. We lived with black mold. We lived with just all kinds of terrible conditions. And I came out here where I live now. I live at the end of a cul-de-sac, and it was empty, just a field. And I sat in my car and I said, I deserve this, and I want this, and I need this, and my family needs this. And I imagined my home in that field. I imagined my kids playing in that yard. I imagined all of it. And then I started taking steps towards it. And I think that is the biggest problem when people hear the law of attraction and manifestation. They think, oh, I can just think it and it's going to appear. It's not the case. You have to take the proper steps to move towards that goal. You can't just want it enough. You have to, put in the work behind it. And we sure did. We put in our own septic tank.
Oh, wow.
We shoveled 30,000 tons of rock by hand with nothing but a shovel and a wheelbarrow.
You really put some work into that house. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely had to put the work in, but I have a beautiful home now. I have 4.5 acres here. We have, my kids have dirt bike trails, and we've really made it into exactly what I imagined on that day.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. I love success stories because I think it gives people hope. It gives
Right.
people hope, and that you're not just spinning your wheels. And I guess I would ask you is, what do you think is the biggest help for people if they feel like they're not manifesting what their desires, whether it be love, home, money? What do you think? What would your advice be to them on
The
how to
best
deal with that?
advice is to look deep down inside of yourself and know that you deserve whatever it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was my biggest struggle, was realizing that I wasn't just a junkie. I wasn't just a miserable person. I wasn't just a mom. I am a person that is so powerful, but I didn't trust that. And once I did trust that, everything else just fell into place.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people struggle, is they want something really bad, but they don't believe that they deserve it. They
They
don't
don't
have
feel
that self-confidence
Yeah.
to get to that point of, okay, this is mine. And
Mm-hmm.
when I go for a job interview, I walk in there like, I already have this job. This is my job.
Yes.
I own this. And
Yeah.
then I get the job. It just,
Yes.
you have to have that, self-confidence, and you really have to look deep down inside of yourself to get it. And it's a hard process, because you also have to admit all of your flaws and all of the terrible things about you, and you have to bring them out and work through them. And that is a hard process. But I tell you, I say all the time, this world would be awesome if everyone would just acknowledge, accept, and move forward from their
Mm-hmm.
own crap.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
accept your own crap. You say, okay, I'm not that great of a person in this aspect. Okay, I'm going to acknowledge that. I'm going to accept that about myself. And then I'm going to move forward and try to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how great the world would be if everyone did that. Just took a
Oh.
second to look at themselves.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like when you're having your realizations about yourself, it's like, I didn't even realize that about me. I think I'm
Right.
a good person, but really I'm not that good. But
Right.
I can change, I can
Right.
improve. And that's important to know. I think that's on the side of going up versus going down, So
Yes.
so okay, Krystal. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you today. And
Thank you for having me.
thank you for your insight, your answers. I believe that very well thought off. I think anybody who engages with you, it's a blessing and a gift. And I appreciate you sharing your gift with the world, figuring out how to best serve people while, living your life and living your dream and your passion. So I give you kudos for that. And I hope that you continue, and I hope that your tarot grows and that you can affect as many people as possible.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So that's the show for today. This has been Liv Luv Lux, Manifesting the Life Unlimited. Krystal, I'm sorry, how do you pronounce your last name?
Seipp.
Seipp. Krystal Seipp. She's on Facebook. Krystal's Corner. Krystal with a K, Corner with a C. Check her out. Get a reading. Pay her. So, and I will talk to you soon. And hey, welcome to your life.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, if you don't